Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures, and I've decided that today I'm going to make a start on maybe even finish the cover for my wedding journal. I've been thinking about how to do this for goodness knows how long, for weeks, going over it in my head, what's the best way to do it. So I rewatched Rachel's from Roxy Creations video that inspired me in the first place to do this type of cover, which was one of the things she did in her 100-day project last year. So I rewatched that to see what she did, and I thought I'm just going to go for it and see how it turns out. So I'm using as my backing for the lace is this old tea towel. I've cut it up. This was just the edge of it. It's really pretty bit of embroidery with a bit of lace trim. I think this was an old, I have a strong feeling this was an old tea towel of my nan's, which is really quite nice to use some of her old things. This was in my drawer, and I thought actually this would make quite a nice background. It's quite a nice strong cottony, linen-y material. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I just thought it would be nice to use. So that's what I've picked for the back of my for attaching the lace to. So I've cut it all to size, and I've got 3 layers, similar sort of thing that Rachel did, except my middle layer is actually felt. I don't have any batting. I suppose I could have bought some, but I had this felt. It's this is the one of the offcuts. It's just cream felt. It was from a company on Etsy that I bought. They do all these different colours. You can get every colour of the rainbow practically, and I have bought 2 different ones. I use it for making pouches, like a bag for my journal. Well, I made one for the first journal I made, my purple journal that I did right at the beginning of this. When I first came back onto YouTube, I showed it to you. So I probably will try and make a bag for this journal and also for my sewing journal, which I haven't done yet, but I have got the felt to do it with. So that's, so I could have used white, I suppose, if I'd wanted to buy some more, but I had this already, and it's the cream one, so it's the next colour up from white, I guess. And I think it'll be fine. You can't really see through. I've cut it all to size. I've made it slightly bigger than the size I normally use. If you could just bear with, I'll show you. Yes, I think it's bigger. I usually use these envelopes as my inner for a journal because they're just about the right size. They're 9 by 12, and if you can see, I've made this a little bit bigger. I've made it 9 by 13 just to give a little bit more just an expandability, I suppose you'd say, that once it gets a bit fatter, things tend to, the way I make my journals, everything sticks out so much. I thought I'll just give it a little bit more room to expand. So I've got this layer, then I've got the felt, and then I've got, as you saw, I've got this material that I bought from Etsy. I did show it to you in my last video. This was actually the little scrap or the offcut that she included with the main piece of material. And it was big enough to use, so I thought, well, I'll use this, and I've still got the other piece of material to do other things with. And the other piece that she included as a little extra, which was so nice, which is this lovely little piece of material. Isn't that pretty? So delicate. And I just thought I may well make pockets, make a pocket. I'm not sure. Make a pocket with this on each side. Maybe I'll do it like that, and then you've got the little rosebuds, and then I can always edge it with a piece of lace as well, just to pretty it up a bit. So that might be, when I get to that point, I might add those as add some of that as pockets. So this is the piece, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is to sew all the way around the edge to attach it all together. I'm hoping this is going to be thick enough and strong enough without the, I ummed and ahed about whether to slip one of those envelopes in between the felt and this inner layer to give it a little bit more strength. But my hope is that once I've added all the lacy bits as well on the outside, it'll just feel quite nice and sort of firm, and with all the sewing and everything, it might just make it feel quite nice without it actually having that need to have the envelope, which rather limits the size to my mind of what you can do. So I thought if I didn't put that in, I could make it just a little bit bigger. So enough waffling on. I think I'm going to just put a few more pins in it, and I'm going to sew it. I will sew it off camera, just because I'm going to probably be quite slow and careful, because I'm not as practiced at this as Rachel is, and she just goes for it and it does it in about 2 minutes time, so she can quite happily do it on camera. But I don't think I'm as confident as that, so I'm just going to, and also she does it with about 3 pins in it, or not, maybe 4, whereas I'm going to pin the whole thing. I'll just show you this little pin cushion, just because it's something I've had since I was about 12. My nan bought this. My nan seems to be featuring a lot in this journal for some reason. My nan bought me this when she went to Scotland, when she was probably about the same age I am, or a similar age to what I am, in her early 60s. She had a little trip to Scotland just after she retired, and this is one of the things she brought back for me. So it's a little tartan pincushion. It says Frae Bonnie, Scotland, so from Bonnie, Scotland. And I've still got it all these years later. So I'm still, it's the only one I've ever had, and I still use it, which is quite nice. It's actually, I suppose you'd call it vintage now. It must be at least 50 years old. So it's quite nice to use that as well. Still be using that. I think she'd be quite amazed to think I was still using it. So there we are. Just pin this round, and then I will pause the video and I will sew all around, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks when I'm done. Right, so I'm back. I've sewn all around the edge with a zigzag stitch. As you can see, it's not a perfect job, but the material does move and stretch as you're going along, which luckily Rachel did warn us in her video that that's what would happen. So I think I'll just trim a few bits around so that the backing is not showing up at the front, so it's not sticking out too much. And then I'll have a look at the other side. So yeah, it's not perfect by any means, but hopefully once it's got a load of lace on it, that won't necessarily be too evident. Whoop. And I'll have a look on the other side in a moment. I did have to go over one of the corners again where I'd kind of got a bit off-piste, and lost a bit of stitching. I think it was it this corner? Yeah, this corner. Look, it just went a bit skew-iff, and so I just went over it again with a bit more stitching. So I'll just tidy that up as well in a moment, as best I can. So, and then this little corner, it just got a little bit caught, but it's all, obviously anything on this side is all going to be covered, so it won't show too much, hopefully. I might just trim it off a little bit down that side. Oh, I think my husband's calling me. I don't think he realises I'm filming. Just one moment, I'll go and see what he wants. Just a minute. Right, I'm back. We just wanted us to sort out dinner in case we need to get something out the freezer. So that was a really good thing to sort out before it gets too late. Right, so I think I've trimmed it all off on this side. Let's just have a little look on this side. So it's not, I mean, there's a few little lumps and bumps here and there, but it's sort of, it'll straighten out, I guess, as it gets used and stretched into shape, or stretched into around the journal. So I think it'll be okay. There's a little bit up here that needs possibly trimming, straightening up, so I might just do that. So it doesn't stick out too much. And here as well. It's just got a bit wonky. But there we go. On another little bit down here. It's just the corners, it seems, that the material, the top material, seems to just a little bit out of shape. So not a problem. So there we are. That's my colour. Might just trim off some of these little bits of fraying here. Hopefully it won't be too much fraying because of I've tried to stitch fairly close to the edge to prevent too much on the fraying front, and I've done it with a zigzag, which I think will hold it nicely, I hope. So there we are. That's the cover before we start to pretty it up a bit. So yeah, now the fun part, adding the laces, although it's fun, but it's also a little bit, you know, I'll have so many things to choose from. I might have trouble deciding how it's going to be, so it might take me a little while to organise, but I don't know if I'm going to use a piece of this. I might cut a piece of this off and pop it in if there's somewhere that seems a good place to put it. Just cut some of these little pieces off. I might pop that in somewhere. Right, so I've picked out a whole load of stuff in a box. Put it in this box. I'm just going to try things, and it might take a while for it to find where I want everything, but we will see. I know I would like to possibly use a piece of this. This is some of that beautiful vintage lace that I bought when I went on my one visit to the antiques shop in our respite from lockdown last year, and I just thought that'd be quite nice along the bottom. It's just such a beautiful piece, and I've got a nice long bit of it, so I just wondered if that would just look nice just poking out at the bottom. Isn't that gorgeous? It's also quite weddingy looking, I think. So I think I'm quite happy with that to go there. Oop. So good. That's a start. That's a nice start. And that one I think it's a beautiful piece of lace. I may just trim that off a bit, although I mean I can just layer up over the top, and it all adds strength. The more layers you've got, I guess the stronger it will be. So let me just make sure that's properly up to the edge, and then I'll pin it into place. I think the sewing on of the laces is the bit I'm a little bit nervous about, shall we say. But I did the patchwork quilt or patchwork cover for my sewing journal, and that turned out okay, so I'm encouraged, shall we say, to give this a go. You're just going to have to take it bit by bit and just sew on each piece separately and hope it all holds together, I guess. Yeah, I might not put too many pins there because I'm obviously going to layer stuff up on top of that. Put that way. Okay, so that's a start. And I put that aside because I've used it. Now I do have this that's like a piece of like a little doily, I suppose. And I might just cut round this. Now I know Rachel did use something quite similar to this, which is quite surprising I'd have anything like what she has, but I did like that. And it's nice to have some different things. Doing it just too one-dimensional is what I'm thinking. I might just trim off the extra bit so you just got the flower. Yeah. go around the shape. I think it's really pretty. Sorry, I'm trying to stay on camera, but at the same time, it's sometimes a bit tricky to cut some of it. Some of these little bits where there's been obviously the bits that have been embroidered are quite thick. This little piece also came from I think it was in an antique shop, might have been. Yes, I think when we went up to Yorkshire for a week in September, I went into this little antique shop. It's nothing like the one where I bought my laces and things. It's just a small high street antiques place. And I didn't have any great expectations of finding anything, but I did find a few little pieces like this. Little pieces of embroidery and stuff, which was quite nice. So, I'll around that piece as well. Try and do it a little bit tidier than that. Managed to make it a little bit jaggedy. Ugh. That's it. That'll do, I think. So I don't know if that'll go here, maybe. Okay. I'd like a little something along the edge. Maybe I'll do that at the end because that'll be on the outs, sort of a final thing. I need something for up here. I've got this. This is, I think, off the edge of a tablecloth. That's quite a nice piece. It's got a little flower. That there. I wonder if it would look quite nice along the spine. Maybe it would. If I put that there, then that would be kind of going down the middle, wouldn't it? Let me just check. Might be quite fun. Okay. Okay, there. Oops, that's a needle, not a pin. Right. See where it would end up once it's folded. How that would work. Yeah, so that would be down the middle, more or less down the spine, which would be might look quite nice. Probably I'll end up covering it anyway with some lace. Depends on how it looks when I've sewn in the signature, really. Whether I decide to cover up my sewing, the stitching of the signature with another bit of lace. I don't know yet. Depends how it looks. Okay, what else we got? So I'd quite like this bit of lace. It's a little very delicate, but it's off a top that I bought in a charity shop, and it's just had bands of lace with bands of whatever this is, some sort of cotton material. And you've got this little bit as well, which I could use at some point. Let's see. I think this was the sleeve. So it's quite a mixture here. There's going to be a few vintagey pieces, but also some of indeterminate age, but probably not very old, that I bought. Because most of my stuff, laces and things, I've bought in charity shops locally. So They're probably not very old, but they are pretty. So, put that. Is that attached? Oh dear, slightly. Another thing I was going to try and get into here, because I want to get a little bit of, might get a little bit of colour. Might put that there maybe. Got a few different things to try. Drop this on the floor. I don't know whether I'll be able to get it in anywhere, but there's this really pretty, this is another top from a charity shop, and I just thought it was really pretty, and I thought it'd be nice to get a little bit of colour, but not too much, into the cover. I don't want to overdo it. I don't know if this is too bright. Let's cut that piece off. I just tuck it in somewhere. Don't know where. Maybe under here. A little splash of colour, maybe. Let's just try it. Don't know about that, but we will see. There's quite a few nice little shapes in here. I might, oops, I think that's upside down. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll see how I feel about it when I've put some other things on. What else have I got? Where did it go? I had another piece of quite old lace from the antique shop. This piece. This is so pretty as well. It's rather gorgeous, isn't it? I'll just cut a piece of that off and see how it looks. It has another colour. It's like it's almost like it's been coffee dyed, but it's not. That's its natural colour. I really don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just making it up as I go along. Don't know if this is going to work. That way or that way. Maybe that way would look best. Layer things up and tuck them under each other. How's that? Yeah, okay. Right, let's see how it looks. Might just tuck that in there. Where's my pins? Okay, let's see how it looks folded over. Got that like that. It's coming along. I'm Just wondering about something along the edge. What else I've got in here? I've got this tablecloth again that I bought in the antique shop, and it's got all this gorgeous edging, but it's almost too much really for... So I've got the edge down here. Just want something fairly delicate along here, so I may just have to look at my lace box. So I want it to kind of look a bit finished along this edge. What have I got? And there is this, which is rather a nice one, because it's got that peachy colour, which is in a lot of my papers. Has got this peach colour in it. It's very delicate. It's not, I'm sure it's not old. I'm just wondering if it would work on the edge, or whether it would work somewhere else, because it's really very see-through, so I'm not sure about that, whether that would work, or whether it would look better inside as part of the, ooh, maybe like that. As part of the substance of the colour, if you know what I mean. Put it there, and you've got that nice little if I could put that all the way round. Is that going to reach? I've had this for a while and I really like it, but it's really quite hard to use because it's quite a wide piece and it's quite see-through. But I could use that as a nice little edge to that lace, couldn't I? Take it to there. Okay, give it a go. It's thickening up nicely. Okay. That about here. Ooh. Getting the pins in. Okay, so that's that. That goes around there. Still got a bit more here to sort out, but we're getting there, making progress. My little flower there, like that. So that's that. And now I need this piece to something to go along the edge here, don't I? See what I got. See what I got. No. I don't know if this is long enough. I think this is a piece of vintage lace. Ooh, that might do it. That is a piece of vintage that I think that I had in... Not sure whether I got that from the antique shop or whether I got that from Etsy, from same shop. It could have been from the same shop I bought the little snippet pieces. So I think I'm going off camera here. Sorry about that. I hope I haven't gone off camera too far. I've sort of lost track a little bit. So there we are. I'm going to put that there for now as a possibility, because that's quite nice, and I know it's up. I'm pretty sure it's fairly old, though I can't remember where it came from for sure. But Lace and Linens, I think, is the name of the shop. Lady called Roz. I bought quite a few laces from her, and she's the one I just bought the little pieces, the little bag of snippety pieces from. And this could have been from her shop as well. Not sure. but I don't think I bought it in the antique shop because it's just a little piece. There was something else I was going to put in here. Oh yes, there was another piece that I had. Now where is it? Yes, now I'm pretty sure this came from her shop too, I think. And that is really, really gorgeous. I've been wanting to use it. So I'm wondering if I might be able to use it, a piece of it here. Let's just cut a piece, see if I can tuck it in. Right, let's take these out for a moment. Oh, need to lay it flat, otherwise I'll be pinning the whole thing together, won't I? I think it's nice to have it looking pretty all around. So I've tucked that under there. I hope my sewing machine will go through all this. There's quite a few layers now. I'll have to trim this off a little bit, I think. Whoop. Got my pin sticking to my scissors. There we go. So I might just tuck that under there. Right. If I can pop that under there, like that. How would that look? And put that in there. Oop, just lost it. And just wondering about a little piece of this here. I feel like I've got a bit of a gap. Under here. Put that under there. Okay. What are we doing here? That goes there. That go over the top. I lost my pinnage there. Let's just fold that back. Go there. I think so. I can put a pin there. And fold that back. Right. How are we doing? I think I've lost the pink, but I don't know that that's a real problem. Unless I tuck a little bit of pink under here. Cut down. There's some little things I thought I might tuck in, but I don't want to make it look really, really messy and too busy. Don't know about the pink. I might just keep it all neutral. No. Nope, nope, nope. Let's have a look again. So how's that looking? It's looking pretty yummy actually, I think. Sorry, I hope I'm on camera here. I keep sliding off to the right. I need to keep it on the screen. I do apologise if I've gone off screen again. I should have had my green mat, but I wasn't sure it was clean enough to work on. I did clean all my table down. I was really worried about getting dirty marks on the laces and on the fabrics. So there we are. So I've got a little bit of fabric there, a bit of ribbony, pretty ribbony stuff across there. Yeah, I think that might be it. Oh, I quite like that. I really like that. Now I'm really scared because once I start sewing it on, I might mess it up. So I think I'll have to sew it a bit at a time, and I'll show you each bit as I go. See how I've done. Most of it's fairly straightforward because it's square pieces. It's just this one which is a bit more fiddly, which is going to be a challenge. So I don't really know where to start on the sewing, to be perfectly honest. Whether to just go catch all this around the edge, or quite what's best. Where's the best place to start? I feel like if I start with this and get the hard bit out the way first, that might be a good thing to do, and then everything else, then I can sort of flatten everything else out from there. I'm just trying to decide whether I need to tuck a little something under here. It looks like a little bald patch just there, doesn't it? Does it show when you fold it over? Just looks like it needs a little something. What can I put in there? I do have these little things that I cut off my tablecloth. Not tablecloth. The tea towel that I used as the background. Would that just pop in there? That'd look a bit too much, or would I just want a bit of, perhaps just a little bit of lace would look nice in there. Let's see if I can find a bit of lace that would work. Oh, I forgot, I have got a whole load of little lacy bits. Couple of little boxes of lacy bits. These all came from, I think they came from Lace and Linens. I've bought bits from her a few times, and they're just little, really pretty little trims. So there is this. That's very pretty. Might be a bit too bulky for that point. I must try and remember to use all these though. Oh, look at this. No, it's not going to work either. It's a bit too much. A little bit of butterfly. Got this little bit of butterfly trim. It's a bit too much, too little. I might try and put that onto some pockets. I've got a whole box of really pretty things. I might just see if I can find a little something. Just a little something, just to squeeze into this spot. Nope. What about this? I cut that down. That might just be another little pop of a different colour. Whoop. Don't cut the lace that's already there. That wouldn't be good. Oh, right. I don't think there's anything else. Gosh. So I'm just having a look through this little box of bits, and there's some really, really pretty things in here. Well, look at that. Sometimes you forget what you've got. So that might just go in there as a little extra flash of colour. I quite like that there. Just pin that in and have a look. It just seems to fill that little gap, doesn't it? Oh, okay. I'll just check that I'm actually filming. Yep. Sorry. I did have to just restart it because it turned itself off, but I think I spotted it in time and managed to keep going. Okay. Now I've also got, in this other box, I seem to have got a collection of boxes of bits and little cute things that I bought. And it's like this is the journal crying out for all of this stuff. And I know I have got, yes I have. Now at some point I want to use, look at this. This is so pretty. I am hoping I might be able to at least get one of these onto the front cover, because it's got the lovely peachy colour that appears in all the in quite a few of the digitals that I've got. But I just thought it would be quite nice perhaps to put that on the front. And I've got this flower here, so another flower up here would be nice. So that's one possibility. So this is, I think this is probably going to go into 2 parts, this video, just because it's going to take me a while to get all this sewn on, and I think it would be, I don't want to rush it, so I think I'll probably go into a second video, but I will make it follow on. I won't make it go on to the next week like I normally would with my next one, because I'm normally only uploading a couple of times a week. But if I have to make a 2-part video, I will make them consecutive days probably. But I think this is probably a good time to pause this video, and I'll do a bit of sewing, and then I'll come back at the beginning of the next video, show you how I've done, and just build it up bit by bit until it's all sewn on. I'm really loving this actually. I love it. I love all the, this is what I was hoping to do. This is what I wanted, something that was going to feel lovely to the touch. It actually feels quite, with all these laces even pinned on, it feels a lot more substantial than it did even without those on. So yeah, so I will see you again in the next video. Thank you for joining me this so far. Please stick with me. We'll get it finished in the next video, which I'll either upload them on one after the other on the same day. If I can, I might do that, or it'll be on the next day. So look out for part 2. Thank you for joining me. Bye.